Okay, we'll get moving with the Wednesday afternoon meeting. We have Commissioner Farrell till 2:30, so we'll just kind of keep it moving along. And we want to start with the executive session? Is that what we have? Okay, so it's, if I remember right, or we call it, is performance of a public employee, is that potential litigation? You have a time frame?
Half an hour.
30 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll go into executive session.
The board is extending the executive session for a period of 5 minutes until 2:07 p.m. The board is extending the executive session for a period of 5 minutes until 2:12 p.m.
Back from executive session, no decisions were rendered. Now we'll turn it over to you, Mike.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mike Moss, Public Services Director, along with Sean Rowe, Finance Manager for Public Works. Today we have a request from the City of Castle Rock for Path and Trails Fund. Sean and Public Works oversees that fund, but you guys are actually the people who says the final decision on what we spend out of that fund. So
Yeah.
Sean will give a little background of how much money we have in there and what's been spent out of there in the past before Dave Vorse comes up.
So Path and Trails Fund is a fund that's a spinoff of the motor vehicle fuel tax.
Okay.
Cass County puts 2.5% of their motor vehicle fuel tax into a Path and Trails Fund. Currently, the balance on that is $842,000 and change. The statutory minimum of contribution is 0.42%. And in 2007, the board at that time made a decision to do the contribution at 2.5%. So in the last 10 years, we have funded $98,000 worth of projects out of that fund. And the last city to receive that was City of Castle Rock as well.
So this was a voluntary thing we set up for handling these type of things?
So
I
there,
mean, do you have the option or to say you will have this?
so we're voluntold to put,
You're voluntold,
to
okay.
put four.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just trying to understand the origin.
Yeah, so we do 2.5, which is more than the statutory minimum. The minimum is 0.42%.
And tell me the limitations on it. Obviously, I know the path out in Castle Rock. Are we talking those type of things or can it be rock covered paths? I mean, does it have to be in urban areas or is it pretty open?
It's pretty open. It doesn't need to be part of a comprehensive plan of some sort. It's pretty well defined by RCW. It's a public way constructed primarily for the pedestrian, equestrian, and bicyclists, or any combination of, and then anything else other than a sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
There's, a lot of in and outs. RCW does want us to consider a few things on that.
And how much did you say is in there?
It is currently at $842,000. Annually is about $51,000 through motor vehicle fuel. And then we have interest income on that
So
balance.
People don't ask for this very often. I'm wondering, I guess I'm just kind of curious why.
Yeah. City of Castle Rock's the best user of this fund.
Yeah, well, that's because Dave's there.
That's right. And so when we're looking at it, the RCW requests that we look at, public safety, the cost of the path and trail as compared to the need or the probable use of it, and that it's part of a comprehensive trail system, either adopted by a county, city, or state.
Could it be, this is probably far out there and I'm probably getting a little bit off subject, but if you were building a trail and you needed to, well, I'll just use Castle Rock and you wanted to have their trail extend out to maybe the high school and beyond that or whatever, and you had a walking bridge across the river, is that feasible?
We could look at that, yeah. I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly.
So they always talk about the path, that stops, I think, off of Cloverdale and how come we can't get into Woodland? It's feasible. I
Across the
mean,
freeway?
yeah,
Yeah.
you could probably never get washed out to buy off onto it, but I'm just saying, what if
Yeah.
that type
Yeah.
of thing
That-
is
that-
feasible?
Yeah, that money could be used for that purpose, correct?
Okay.
So if
All
you
right,
guys.
interesting.
Yeah, so representing the city of Castle Rock, Dave Force is here today to present. I believe he came a couple of weeks ago, dropped off some paperwork to you guys, but you also have extra copies today to hand out and have him present.
Yeah.
How much was the ask here?
70?
70,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've seen this, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak before you today.
Push your button there, bud, so it's on.
Oh, I'm not used to these. We don't have these in Castle Rock, do we, Rick?
It's a
Okay.
smaller room. Everybody hears everybody, yeah.
Again, thank you for be able to come in front of you and just kind of give you some background information and ask requests for you. So this is what we're asking for as part of what's known the Six Rivers Regional Trail Plan. And it actually was started with County Commissioner Mike Karnowski at the time, probably 10 years ago or better now. And basically lines out a trail plan from the north end of Cowlitz County to the south end of Cowlitz County and using county roads and city roads and existing trail systems. And we did a phase one on this a few years back where we took from where it would be coming off of Old 99 by Papa Pete's and worked with the state and narrowed the lanes and created a wider shoulder for bicyclists and pedestrians. Now, we don't advocate bike lanes necessarily. We just try to make a widened shoulder for pedestrians and bicyclists to use. And so we feel that's a better use of the space than trying to actually designate bike lanes. That's our preference. But anyway, so this plan obviously shows that this is the plan. I left you also, I think, the full plan of what the Six Rivers plan where the county and all the cities have bought into it and are part of that planning process. So in your first map is this map. This shows actually the Huntington Avenue south of, starts at Lions Pride Park that is south of the rock and runs down to Larson Lane. And this is what we're calling phase two of the riverfront or the Six Rivers Regional Trail Front System. And what it involves is 650 feet of paved trail as it leaves the restroom area by Lions Pride and the behind the tree line there that runs in the dredge spoils and not on the curb at that point. And then it bumps out to the shoulder of Huntington Avenue where we're providing lighting all the way to Larson Lane. When we overlaid Huntington Avenue a few years ago, we did this restriping alignment too, so we'd have more space on that side. So the plan is eventually to add a 6-foot sidewalk through that area, but that's not part of this grant proposal, not part of this. It's other work that we are going to do personally. But this includes the 600 feet of asphalt trail. And the reason why we are bumping out is because in that area, the hillsides come down and we can't keep off of Huntington Avenue. And so that's why we are coming down there. And then it will put in 9 of our pedestrian-friendly lights like we have in the downtown and going up Mount St. Helens Way. And the total cost of this project is about $669,000. And what we're looking for of a match out of this fund is $70,800 or any part thereof. We are beggars, we can't be choosy, so we're thankful for whatever you guys decide. The City of Castle Rock investment in this project has been the labor and material to install the electrical conduit and junction boxes for the lighting. And then once the lights are installed, then we'll install 950 feet of 6-foot sidewalk with our own crews. at a value of $225,000. So, and then we have a grant for the $373,900. And so I'd be glad to answer any questions about this. It is part of the regional trail, and we try to encourage the opportunity when we either re-asphalt or chip seal to take and narrow those lanes a little bit and create a little more of a shoulder for the pedestrians and bicyclists.
You know, you sit out there at Lions Park and I'll park on one end or the other and you can walk it, but a lot of people do go up Huntington. They're just on the side of the road.
Yeah,
I see a lot of bicycles and people
Yeah.
running. I'm assuming you probably at some point in time like to get that out to the Tappanee development.
well, that's true. So we're also working on a grant fund that we have that we're working on the obligation right now, federal funds that could carry this pedestrian way up to that intersection and even through that intersection with whatever that intersection looks like, if it's a roundabout or whatever, but it would carry the pedestrian piece through so that the goal is to get people on Pleasant Hill.
Yeah.
So at that. And this is also, another reason we're doing this is that this area is also known as one of the hazardous walking paths for the school district. Otherwise, the school district feels it's obligated to bus kids because it's not lit and they would have to cross the road. If they lived on one side, they would have to cross the other. And so that's why we also include a crossing there at Larson Lane, whether that's going to be a sidewalk or an island with a sidewalk built into it, something that will provide a little more safe place for the school-age children to walk. You know, I know for many of us, we used to walk to school a lot. And anymore, we have a lot of.
Through the snow.
Yes, through the snow, uphill both ways. But and the thing is that, that was good exercise and it was a good discipline to get up early enough to get to school on time. And when we do this to try to help make that an option for the parents and for the kids to also help the school district.
Does the trail eliminate the uphill both ways? Does it help that?
It is pretty flat there.
Well, if you go up to the hill to Mrs. Jones's and
I know,
then
you
down there by
ran-
Purdue's, yeah, anybody have to up on the hill and down.
Yeah.
Or the old Jake Heisey place, if you remember old Jake, but yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Well, you should run the initial trail. You could run it up the rock and then back
Well,
down.
we used to have well, and there still is, the school PTO was the last one, it was called I Top the Rock. And the run went up to the top of the
Went up
rock
to the,
and down, and we had 90-year-old ladies that were doing that trek.
Yeah.
And Steve, no, there's no more water reservoir up there to play in. So, do you remember the old water reservoir?
is there an old one up there?
You're not admitting anything, are you?
No comment. No comment. Been there a few times.
Yeah. I don't think he was looking for reservoirs.
No.
Well, I know Steve has to get going, so do we have any issues with it or?
No, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I like the looks of it.
Do you just need us to tell you to move forward? You okay with that?
Yeah, then we'll work with Dave on budget timing and what years and things of that nature.
Be great.
Just because I live out there, I know there's people on that all the
I know.
time.
It's one of the things, you build it, they will use it.
It's been used, so.
A little story about that whole Riverfront Trail. It was always a dike. We put pavement and put lights on it. All of a sudden, you would have thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. We had more
That's
cars.
true.
Yeah.
And the Castle Rock ladies, the Bloom team has been they put some stuff out there. I mean, it's actually turning pretty nice.
Well,
And
these,
you got bathrooms now at both ends.
yeah, and these lights will have those hanging baskets on them too. So
Yeah.
it'll be something drawing people in from the south end as well. Thank you again so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Absolutely,
consideration.
Thank you.
And I won't talk about how eloquently you spoke about human waste the other day.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Commissioners. Do you want to recess for a minute? Does Commissioner Farrell need to leave or?
If when he's ready to go,
Sure.
he can just,
I'm just gonna go, so
yeah.
Okay.
it's time for me to go.
Hopefully they can find some answers for him. Get feeling,
Time to
but
get this x-ray.
yeah.
Good luck. Item number we have, item number one we have in our Public Works would be solid waste grant update from Sean. I believe it started talking about this last Wednesday.
Yeah, so last week we had a quick conversation about our previous solid waste grant and that it did include covering part of the cost for the Camp Hope garbage disposal. We did not have room in that for our grant for this new biannual season. And so we're looking for a little guidance on continuing forward with that or not and how it matches up with the solid waste fund. We did reach out to the city, talked with them. They, would be disappointed if this funding went away. Gina over at Health and Human Services was able to help us out also. Under the RFP that was out for Camp Hope, one of the responsibilities of the proposer would be the ongoing utility costs of the site itself. And so that would be part of those costs.
So you're just asking us to subsidize it through the end of till the contract's over?
Whatever the will of the board would be, we can stop today or we can stop at the end of the current agreement.
What's the dollar amount that we've been doing?
It's about $1,000 a month currently.
And it's to make sure we get the garbage. We're getting it out of there. Is that?
Yeah,
that the
so
idea?
Waste Control has some dumpsters on site and we pay 1/2 of that bill.
And explain to me how we got into it.
Yeah, I got the history right here. So back in 2001, we were reached out to by the city of Longview. From November 2020 to January of 2021, HHS was covering the costs through a COVID emergency grant. When that ran out, it came over. We're looking for some help through the solid waste division. The board gave some guidance on that. And then we rolled it into our local solid waste financial assistance grant for the last 2 terms. At the end of June of 2025, those grants expired. And in the new version, we do not have room in addition to our household hazardous waste program and our recycling program for those additional costs.
So it didn't start with the camp. It started way before that as just an agreement. So
2001. Oh, sorry. I excuse me.
21. Yeah.
That's old. No, I apologize for my misspeak there. It's 2021.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but that's one of those things that we start these grants and these programs with this, we start these programs with this grant money and then it goes away and it's on us to continue to fund it.
yeah, I agree with that. It was grant funds and we were just allocating part of those grant funds. Now it's not,
Mhm.
and it'd be expense that we would subsidize.
And so you're saying that on the new renewal, we don't have the funds to continue that?
That's correct.
So it would come out of,
It would come out of solid waste M&O expense. I should say it's currently coming out of solid waste M&O
I
expense.
mean, the
Originally
expense is
just-
gonna be there. What you're saying is who's gonna end up paying for it. It's since it's on the city of Longview's, in the city of Longview's arena, common sense would tell me they pay for their arena. When's their RFP do you know? I'm trying to be
I think it's end of September, isn't it?
is it?
I think it is end of September.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't want to be an ass, but I don't want to continue doing this either.
So in the RFP, whoever they hire to take over that camp, it's their responsibility moving forward.
Correct. That's what the request for included on their RFP. Yes.
And they're planning on that starting January 1.
I don't know the date of when their new contract would start.
I think that's what, I'm almost positive that's what Jennifer told me, is that it's January 1. So worst case scenario, 6 months.
Yeah.
Can we approve it for 6 months and then
Yeah.
say you're on your own after that?
Yeah, it'd be nice to give them the notice and they can plan for that in the new budget cycle.
Okay, I'd be good
I'm good with that.
with that instead of just cutting them off cold turkey.
Mhm.
That,
But I also want some
But-
sort of
but-
contingency to say we're not doing this for 3
yeah,
years.
well, yeah, I just say through the end of the year, we're assuming new people are gonna take over and be responsible for that January 1. Okay, if you give them a cutoff date,
Yeah. we'll do
okay?
that.
You
We'll
guys good
notify
with
'em.
that?
Yep,
Mhm.
January 1, it's either
Oh,
find a
Commissioner-
different source or. they-
Commissioner Rader and I won't make the paper.
No guarantee.
No, I think it's the right thing to do to give them notice. You know,
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. So
Thank you. I'll move on to.
Yeah, next up on the agenda is Janice House invitation. I believe we had Janice House to come speak to the board on Monday. We did receive an email asking if the board would prefer to go over and see the houses one-on-one rather than coming in and speaking about it in a public meeting. And we just wanted to get an opinion of the board so we can respond back to them.
I personally kind of like to hear what they do. I mean, I'm assuming any of us can stop by there anytime and look through it if we want to.
Yeah, I think you'll have Tina's emails. You can reach out if you want to do something individually as well, but we can move forward with the Monday meeting then.
yeah.
Perfect. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Do you guys have a hard cutoff time today, or do you guys want us to go through our 7 items?
If we can knock them down, knock them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty quick, so I just
Yeah.
didn't know if you guys had a time
Yeah,
crunch.
go ahead.
Okay. Susan's up next with a U.S. Department of Transportation request.
U.S. Department of Transportation.
So good afternoon, Susan Eugenius. So the U.S. Department of Transportation has a request for information out on the street right now that I wanted to bring to your attention to see if you guys wanted to comment on it. They're looking for comments, support, what we think needs to be changed on their surface transportation package because it comes up for why am I blanking on words? Reauthorization in September of 2026. So, which I hand it to you, and please be kind, it's an engineer writing, is a starting of a draft comment letter for them. And the second page is the Federal Register that has their request for information. So I'm bringing this forward because the comments are due next week on the 20th of August for you guys to read, make comments on, decide if you even want to provide them any comments. Moving forward, I was planning on emailing this to you also. Just wanted to feel today is if you wanted to move forward or if you wanted to just set this aside for others to make comments.
Historically, what do they do with this information?
They can use it for how they want to tailor their message to Congress and the president on this is what we feel the surface transportation. So the dollars go to the STP funding for the bridge replacement program, the Protect funds, the Highway Safety Improvement Program. So those programs and they have a variety of them. Safe Streets for All is another one where they have money that's given to each region, and it's just distributed directly to the region, and the region decides what to do with it. Like STP, it goes to the MPO and the RTPO, and the local region decides which projects are going to be used for. There's an amount that goes to the state to give to local agencies for bridge programs. That is a competitive program that comes out every other year. Then there are bigger programs, like they change the acronyms every 2 years, it seems like, and it's probably 4. So was the FAST Act. There's 2 different colors of protect money. There was the T21. And so they go for larger infrastructure programs on the local thing that are competitive nationwide. So in the last one that came out, there was the local protect, which we were very successful at getting money for. So the state got a certain amount of money that they could then do competitively across the state. But there was federal protect funding, which we applied for, that we were not competitive against, because a lot of those projects end up going to very large regional programs. So you need to be in New Orleans, some bigger jurisdiction, a DOT, a large city, to actually be competitive on those grant programs. So they have a variety of different programs, but they're looking for what the local agencies feel work well for them. And in addition to that, what we would see value as going into the the transportation package moving forward. So this was me taking a stab at it with from the Public Works. This is how we use the money, and wanting to know if you guys wanted to move forward with this with somebody who is more eloquent in their writing, improving my bare bones, or giving me comments of we should add something about this. I'll email this to you guys when I get back to the office if you want to move forward, and we can kind of discuss it on Monday to get a good massage for you guys to move forward with.
Yeah, that'd be appreciated. I think it's a good thing I get it, it's all taxpayers' money, but without the federal funds, a lot of the bridges and the stuff we do, they may happen, but they'd be many years down. So I think if, as the public understands, there probably would be okay making sure those improvements are made faster rather than later.
Yes.
And it's actually cheaper to them if we can make them faster rather than later. The only thing when you talk about, I think it's important, and you have it here, that we're talking about bridges. We're talking about, to me, we're talking about substantial structure type things that help our people get around their deal. We're not talking about this safe streets nonsense that Longview's kind of tied up into.
Right.
You know.
I focused on the bridges, how upsizing culverts, doing large corridor projects to prevent accidents. I'm not talking about the pedestrian projects, which is a whole nother, which
Yeah.
is part of this package, but it's not for what the rural agencies are really concentrating on. So that was what I was keeping the focus on in this letter.
Would the Rainier Bridge be included and affected by this at all?
Yes, because it's all part of that transportation package. So the way I wrote this letter, it just focused on local. But I can certainly add something about the more regionally significant projects, such as replacing aging interstate transportation.
You know, that's a good point Commissioner brings up. I'd keep that as top of mind, or keep that in their mind. I talk about it every time back there. And I'm anxiously waiting to see the safety report that they're gonna come out with, because I think that bridge is gonna have some flaws. And
Well, and I would say it's more than just transportation state to state. We're shipping,
Yes,
you know, that affects our economy greatly.
Yeah.
The number of ships going underneath that thing.
so, and that is part of what USDOT oversees. So,
yeah, good point.
So the other thing I didn't add in here that I thought might be a good point were potential improvements to local roads that are used as bypass routes for interstate
Oh, like
things.
Woodland has a slide?
Like when Woodland has a slide or a flood, or they're doing tree trimming. I heard the tree trimming was horrible this week, that there was a huge backup because they were trimming trees in Woodland and backed up to Todd Road again.
No, that is the worst spot, isn't it?
It is bad.
It
Yeah.
is bad, and that's probably, I think you're right, that's probably worth mentioning. I don't know where they put that. That all gets into that, another overpass off of Cloverdale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Todd Road to Dyke Road, you're in a corridor and you're not getting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other funding source that we get from the federal government, some from USDOT and some from FEMA, is emergency money that we receive for our roads like Kalama River Road and our bigger roads, so our federally classified roadways, to make sure that's included in the package so that we can respond to the grants. Okay, so what I'll plan on doing is I'll add that information this afternoon, early tomorrow morning, get that off to all of you, and so we can have a new version money running through Monday.
Yeah.
Is this in connection to the transportation plan you were working on?
No, this is purely a DOT request on their funding information, so. Okay, thank
Sue.
you.
Thank you.
We have our HOJ milling expert in the house, Savannah. Clement.
Kelly Grayson.
I'm glad to see her. I told her, I talked about her earlier this week or last week. I said, where is she? Because I know it starts next week. Does she
Yeah.
just go on vacation and
Took
keep
2
going?
weeks off. No. I did show back up. But no, I mean, the project as far as construction goes is very much so on track. They just actually finished a large project, which was the gearbox with the switch gear upgrade. So they actually had to cut a hole in the basement of the Hall of Justice because the permit required it to be exterior facing, so in the parking garage. So that was finished and went really well. We also did our test power outage. So if the board recalls, we have a power outage scheduled, full-scale replacement of all those electrical components on Labor Day weekend. And so Jason Thomas, project coordinator, actually scheduled a test outage weekend before last. And from what I gather, now that it's been a couple weeks, it went really well. We were able to gauge the amount of fuel we used in an 11-hour time frame. We were able to track down and record a power audit to know which power, from the generator was powering which division. That went really well. We had IT there. 911 was involved. I think overall we learned a lot, and it really prepared us for that Labor Day weekend. I also confirmed that the permit is already approved and in place, which just means Elle and I can come and just sign off on that weekend, and that's scheduled for Sunday. So that'll give us a little flex period between Sunday and Monday if there are concerns, issues, prior to opening back up on Tuesday. We just heard this morning at another meeting that court is being planned to be held at the Hall of Justice on Tuesday. So we need to get that place up and running on that day. So I think we're feeling good about it. Everybody, there's a lot of wood, so go ahead. But as far as that goes, we're ready. We also have some mobilization happening this week and next. So we've got connexes going in place, and we're just kind of rocking and rolling, which I've been eager to do because I just, at this point, you're like, let's start and get going. So press release will be going out tomorrow to let everybody know what's going on at the hall. I went ahead and vetted that through the courts to make sure that my information was okay with their information, and they gave it their blessing. So the press release will be going out. I do anticipate a press release kind of every time there's a major move for the people to know where they should be going. Obviously, we'll have ample signage, but to let people know ahead of time, sheriff's office front counter will be here. Yeah, so you see those a lot, probably every few weeks, especially in the beginning when we have a lot of movement. That was a lot. The first major move will be DEM, just so you guys know, and then followed by the clerk's office, which will be moving to the boathouse. So those are just some kind of updates for you guys on that Millig project. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, awesome. I'll just move right along on my list. So we just got notification from RCO that our gun range grant project is complete. That project was 2 phases. First phase was trap houses, which was completed last year-ish, 2 years ago. And the second phase was the restrooms. So that is all signed off and approved and good to go. And we're finished with that. So it was a great job by the crews. Road crews was involved, Parks was involved, of course, gun range, and a lot of staff. So that was a good project to finish up. Second project for RCO, we just got official approval, I think earlier this week or late last week, from RCO that we were approved for our grant, which was up to 1.1 million with a half match from RCO. And I wanted to thank the board and actually thank Kathy, who's not here, who brought the rural development funding application that we completed to the board for approval. And so that actually is what sealed the deal. So thank you guys to everybody that helped us get there. I'm really excited. I'm glad Dave Borse left because talked to Sean that we want to go after some of those paths and trails money. It needs to be in our parks comprehensive plan, so I'm working on that. So be great to be able to pave some of those walking areas up on the dike at Riverside and other areas. So we're all over it. Any questions on those RCO items? I know we've got Shelley waiting and sorry, we're over. Last item I have is the Lexington Flood Control Zone District. And just so the board's aware, they are, they're not necessarily like I think they're our largest district funding wise. Susan and Sean might be able to, no, okay. Anyways, they're a large represented district. They have an active board. Mike Dyer is their, I think, co-chief of, chairman, I like chief. And he's very involved and he's really kind of interested in giving the board a little bit of information about what the Lexington Flood Zone Control District does. I think it'll be great for people, taxpayers, as well as the board to know. They've got a lot of high dollar projects going in. And I think it'd just be good information. So I'd like to have them come on Tuesday, August 26th, because our Wednesday meeting changed to Tuesday afternoon. So I'd like to have them at that meeting as long as the board's okay with that. Okay, seeing head nods. All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Kelly, I'll talk about this on Silver Lake thing on Monday when Commissioner Farrell's back. Okay. Anything else?
That's it from us, unless you guys have miscellaneous items for us.
I can tell you, Mike, because I was at Castle Rock meeting on Monday. They appreciate the work that we did on their roads there.
Good, thank you.
They actually, and that came out of Dave's mouth, he said the county does excellent work on their roads, so.
Thank you.
They appreciated that.
Yeah, each year we.
I didn't know he was buttering us up for $75,000.
Yeah, usually good.
Yeah. I will mention that to him.
Yeah, we usually have a day or two in Castle Rock each year when we chip seal, so.
Yeah. And they appreciate it.
They do.
They talked about it Monday.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Shall we have the item? No, okay. Okay.
Risk management, you have an executive session? Do I have the topic or not? Potential litigation? Okay. And how long do we think? You're gonna undercut Mr. Farrell. Okay, we'll go into executive session, potential litigation.
The board is extending the executive session for a period of 5 minutes until 3:22 p.m.
Okay, back from executive session, no decisions rendered. I'm not aware of any additional business, so we will adjourn. Thank you.